Good morning, everybody. As we get things started here on Tuesday, I just want to show you kind of the end result of something we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. You're looking down over the North Pole, and what we're watching currently is the extent of the jet stream completely circumnavigating the planet. And what's important about this particular setup is that most of the jet stream level flow is really resisting high latitude blocking. In other words, we don't see any massive ridges. It just kind of continues, all the way across the planet. And why I bring this up is because to see a jet stream pattern like this in the middle of a winter when we still see evidence of a La Nina would suggest that this La Nina is kind of possibly past its peak and is going to start to lose its influence, because zonal jet stream flow like this, which of course has been targeting the west coast and will continue to do so in the next 10 to 15 days, is more of a characteristic of a flow pattern we get when there is El Nino-like behavior. We're starting to see some shifting around in the Pacific Ocean of several different factors, which just leads me to think that this La Nina is likely starting to lose its influence. Now, it does not mean it's going to go away in a heartbeat. We're going to continue to see La Nina-like behavior at times. In fact, I think the last maybe 10 days of the month of January into February is going to go back over to a La Nina look. In fact, if you look at the latest ECMWF weeklies, which I included in today's report and talked about in last night's in-depth video, you'll see La Nina-like behavior. That's an active Ohio River Valley storm track. That's, strong flow coming into the northwest and better chances of cold air invading into the country. But while the jet stream is doing this, we won't see that same type of setup. The other piece of this is what's going on right now. When you look from South America here to Australia and then look down in the ocean about 450 meters, the warm water that you see tucked over in this area has been pushed here by the strong trade winds. But you'll watch going from November to the end of this animation, this cold water upwelling here is losing its influence. Some of this warmer water starting to advance back. And that's also kind of a telltale sign that La Nina might be losing its grip. So that's going to be important going forward in these forecasts. Now, in the near term, we're still watching a powerful winter storm cut across the midsection of the country and multiple winter storms lined up for the west. This is just a radar animation last night of the main upper level low, which is sitting and spinning over Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, and South Dakota this morning, spreading very heavy snow. And then the storms we saw to the south of this, many of which were quite severe as they ripped across parts of the Mid-South down toward the lower Mississippi River Valley where they're crossing this morning. A tremendous amount of lightning out of this. One interesting thing to watch in this animation, though, as it starts over again, is you can actually see the position of the front on radar. See it sliding across Texas here? It eventually, late last night, initiated a new line of storms right there that's moving into Louisiana early this morning. Now, when you look back west, though, this animation shows you the water vapor. Get oriented here. Here's the west coast. This is this next massive storm system and the plume of water vapor around it as it approaches California. It'll be there over the next 3 days. So just bigger picture, what's going on? Today, the severe storm risk is here over parts of the south and southeast. The Storm Prediction Centers included a large area up into the Tennessee Valley, back down to parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama for severe storms. And they've now increased the risk tomorrow for severe storms coming out of Florida's panhandle into Georgia. So this is going to be a pretty rough go of it here, as we know the history of these storms producing strong winds and tornadoes. In the northern part of the United States, looking at the backside of this system, we're still dealing with some ice in this region, and there'll be actually some ice accumulation in the northeast. But the immediate impact is going to be the heavy snow that we saw continue to be forecast. There's going to be a swath in here of 8 to 12 inches of snow out of this system as it moves forward, and snow has already fallen, of course, in this particular area. So let's just kind of come up to speed. Going here to the high-res NAM to watch the evolution of the storm system starting at 8 a.m. this morning. So the upper level low is actually disconnected from the main surface warm conveyor belt, which moves into New England, spreading rain. We still see the strong to severe storms by tonight stretching into this area, but the upper level low will sit here and spin over parts of the western Corn Belt this afternoon. Scattered snow throughout much of the central and southern Rockies while this is happening. So that low through Wednesday morning, playing out here to Wednesday mid-morning into midday. Here's the front moving over the Appalachian Mountains toward the Mid-Atlantic and the Carolinas. This is why we're going to watch for some severe storms in this area. But a broad area continues here of light snow. Winds will be stronger on the back side of this, but we do have, of course, throughout this entire area, winter storm watch and a winter storm warning for this area. In fact, let's pull that up real quick here. Just going to go to our main site. I am repairing some stuff on this site right now, as we start a new year. So a couple of products are down, but there you go. So this is where we still have the winter storm warning, ice storm in through this area, and flood watches, flood warnings, and this is still the remnants of a tornado watch through 11 a.m. today. So just wanted to kind of make sure I covered that. Now, if we go back to where this system makes it through Wednesday, you can see the ice threat here in New England. Front clears the mid-Atlantic. Snow showers continue to wrap around the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. But during that time period, a large storm system comes into the western United States. So to see that, let's flip over to the European model. Let's play out through where we've already seen. This is now getting through Wednesday. Let's park it right here midday Thursday. At that point, the deep low that we just saw in the water vapor imagery is coming toward the west, and it is going to push a very strong front. Look at this. This is Wednesday, midday through Thursday, right there. But each of these deep lows that come into the west fail to eject as troughs here in the Midwest or Great Plains. So they're just ending in the west. Do you notice how there's no big storm system that comes out of this? There's a weaker wave that comes through the Ohio River Valley on Friday night and Saturday, but no deep low is coming. The nose of that jet kind of stops in this particular area. But here's the next system on Saturday coming into the west, as one system weakly pulls here through the Ohio River Valley toward the northeast. And you're going to continue to see more systems. Look at this. This is next Monday into Tuesday, just pounding the west. So in the eastern half of the country, we have one system rolling through after this winter storm, and a second, while the west coast might possibly see 4 separate waves of very heavy precipitation. So if we just look at the west over here, this is total accumulated snowfall expected from the European model. It's primarily targeting the Klamath Mountains and the Sierra Nevada. Some places here could grab up to 4 feet of snow from this. And if we look at the total precipitation, there is in the models between 10 to 12 inches of liquid equivalent, adding to the already massive flooding problems we're having here in California from this setup. So the tail end of this is just slamming into the West Coast right now. Okay, from here, let's talk about temperatures. Near record temperatures, 30 degrees above normal in parts of the Ohio River Valley. But as we talked about the last couple of days, as that warm air moves east, we do not see any sustained Arctic outbreaks with this zonal flow. So we just watch temperatures all the way out to next Monday. You notice that during that time period, just no major Arctic outbreaks. There's no high latitude blocking to create that. And it's also important just to reiterate again, North America, Europe, much of China, 3 major population centers around the world in the Northern Hemisphere, all experiencing very mild conditions while the coldest air is tucked away into parts of Russia and Siberia. From here, just want to reiterate what was going on over the weekend in South America, specifically into Argentina. From Buenos Aires to Cordoba to Santa Fe, these 3 provinces, we did have some scattered storms that delivered quite a bit of rainfall. But the forecast going forward for that area shows up very dry again, including Uruguay and Rio Grande do Sul. The heaviest rain stretch across central Brazil, where harvest is underway right now in Mato Grosso. In addition to the very dry conditions, remember it is like July, if you need a comparison for South America, and therefore to see temperatures that are going to be 2 to 5 degrees Celsius above normal represents some pretty substantial heat, meaning that a lot of that water that just came from those thunderstorms will likely evaporate pretty quickly during this drier time period. So again, a lot of focus going on right now in Argentina with the ongoing drought situation, while much above average rains are coming into major growing areas in Brazil. So appreciate your attention this morning. We'll talk again tomorrow. Thanks.